If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you. And
good afternoon. Welcome to Central Valley Talk. My name is Ray Johns, and the name of my show is Voices Not Yet Heard. And like we say every week, we hope we'll become your voice, your vehicle to voice your opinion. Now, I want to apologize to my audience, because usually I talk to you without the aid of a teleprompter. And what happened is, like I heard Rush Limbaugh, I study right up until time for the show, and I found some information that I think is very valuable. And I think you need to hear that. I have a great guest today. We're going to bring him in a moment. But first of all, I'd like to talk to you about something. According to the latest polls, Hillary Clinton leads Donald Trump by 6 points, 44 to 38. Now, that figure is associated with the liberal leftist media. However, were one to take a closer look at the demographics consistent with these polls, you might better understand the lack of truth within, as well as the real truth concerning these demographics. There are several factors pertaining. Now, what I want to tell you is that, first off, people tend to believe what they hear, what they read, what they see. Now, the very liberal media who conducts these polls do so in communities that adhere to their political beliefs. And those liberal communities are the African American communities, the Hispanic communities, the poor white communities, and the communities known as others, which consist of Eskimos and Indians and the like of such. Often these polls consist of fewer than 1,000 people, some as few as 500, and I've heard even 300. My very good friend Gary Miguel, who has appeared on my show on several occasions, points to the fact that Donald Trump continues to draw crowds into the tens of thousands, while Hillary Clinton draws into the hundreds at best. Now, that being said, it kind of shoots that 6% lead right out the window. Okay, it's not consistent at all. Now, I would like to explain a couple of more things to you. First off, my best friend, his name is Eric Starr, and he brought a very brilliant point to me sometime this week, and I'd like to convey that to you. Every time Donald Trump, during his campaign, every time there was something positive said about him, there was something good said about him, the economy surged. It went up. On the other hand, every time something bad was said about him, it falters. Now, that tells you the power of this man, what power he has. Now, with that being said about the liberal media, I've come to the conclusion that it's kind of like what my dad used to say all the time, you know. You can put all this stuff in, and what comes out is basically horsepucky. I'd like to take the time right now to bring in my guest. His name is Lawrence Alberti. We're going to sit here. We're going to talk about his political views. How do you feel personally, Alberti, Mr. Alberti, about the present economy? What's going on here right now? Your opinion.
Just the overall economy?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think the economy is not doing so well for a lot of people.
That's interesting too, because
I've been, I'm very observant of situations, and it just appears to me that the people that are doing the best are immigrants. And most of the immigrants that come into our country They're educated. A lot of them are educated, particularly in the Indian, in the Hindu
I
or
agree.
Indian community. They have a culture, and whether they come from Iran or whatever, they have a sense of value. They understand. Their understanding is I think, is different than most Americans,
I agree with you totally.
and they're doing well. Afro Americans, I think what we see is we see on TV, we're very boisterous people, and our skill sets tend to work well with sports and entertainment. So you see a lot of on TV. You see a lot of what supposedly success in the community.
And that's what foreign people see, huh, when they take a look at it.
Exactly. They see, wow, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, politics, political leaders, even police chiefs.
Absolutely.
Are black. Okay, so that perception is, man, everybody black is doing well. Everybody black is doing well.
Not so the masses, though, right?
But if you look at the rank and file, they're not doing so well.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
In my opinion, the two worst groups of people in our economy are Afro Americans and white, just rank and file white people.
As well as Hispanics, too, I think.
Well, Hispanics up to a point, but if you start looking at the situation, man, I was worked in Las Vegas. This guy was lawn maintenance, lawn care.
Okay, he did lawn maintenance. Okay.
Lawn care. A girlfriend of mine, he charged her $750 to trim one of those palm trees.
Oh, my goodness.
She asked him to trim her coal for her lawn or the edge of her lawn, and he didn't speak no English. And through his son, he says, "I don't do that." He says, "Nobody else asked me to do it, and I don't want to do it."
Well, let me say something, and a very good point you made, especially about African Americans. You know that Johnson signed the Civil Rights Bill in 1965. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that there were Republicans against that bill, but what did happen, there were more Republicans that actually signed that bill than there were Democrats. Now, I ask people all the time, what has changed since 1965? Blacks are probably worse off now than they were then, when everybody adhered to all these liberal programs that were supposed to be of service to African Americans and poor people. It has not worked, ladies and gentlemen. It has not worked at all. And we continue to strive to be under the thumb of liberalism, I call it. And it just does not work. It has not worked. And that's my gripe with what's happening in this country today, and especially with the present administration that is endorsed by Hillary Clinton. And my thoughts are, elect Hillary Clinton and you elect 8 more years of possibly worse than what we have right now, which is not good. Among African Americans, especially youth, unemployment has tripled under this present administration. Regardless of what you hear from Barack Obama, regardless of what you hear from Hillary Clinton, this economy is out the door, okay? On Monday, we just went past $19 trillion in debt for this country. That's $58,000 for every man, woman, and child in this country. I find that devastating.
Absolutely.
What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back, and we're going to hear a video. We're going to look at a video from both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and I think you'll find this quite enlightening. I think you'll find it quite informative. We have 181 days, ladies and gentlemen, 81 days until this country steps up to the plate and makes a decision as to the direction of this great country. We don't have long. It's less than 90 days. So we're going to go to this. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back in 2 and 2, which of course adds up to 4. We'll be back in just a minute. I'm back with my guest, Lawrence Alberti, but before we continue, we're going to go to a video of Donald Trump.
The Democratic Party, nominated the personification of special interest corruption. The Democratic Party rigged the nomination to give it to Hillary Clinton, thus giving the soul of their party this year to special interests. What else is new? I'm running to listen to your voice, to hear the cries for help from so many people in our nation. The quiet voices in our society, not the loudest demonstrators, need to have their demands heard. Jobs, safety, opportunity, fair and equal representation. We reject the bigotry of Hillary Clinton, which panders to and talks down to communities of color and sees them only as votes. That's all they care about, not as individual human beings worthy of a better future. They have taken advantage. She doesn't care at all about the hurting people of this country or the suffering she has caused them, and she, meaning she and her party officials. There has been tremendous suffering because of what they have brought. The African American community has been taken for granted for decades by the Democratic Party, and look how they're doing. It's time to break with the failures of the past. I want to offer Americans a new and much better future. It's time for rule by the people, not rule for the special interests which we have right now. Thank you.
I'm back. I wanted you very much to listen to Mr. Trump. You know, as I said earlier, we've got 81 days, ladies and gentlemen, until it's what I call lock and load time. And we've talked before on my shows about doing your due diligence, okay? You have to do that. I'm going to inform you as much as I can, as will other people, I'm sure. But if you're straddling the fence, do your due diligence, okay? This 90 days is going to go by really fast. I'm very concerned about where we are in this country now. I can't believe that Hillary Clinton even has a following knowing what she's done. So I think we have to discredit her, bring to light exactly what this woman is. I think we're attempting to do that. I think there are people out there that are making moves now that will do that, you know. I'm going to bring back Mr. Alberti now. We're going to talk for a minute, and we're going to listen to a Hillary Clinton video here and view a Hillary Clinton video after we talk for a minute. We'll probably go back to a commercial, but I want Mr. Alberti to come back. We're going to talk a little bit to him. Mm-hmm. You know, it was interesting what you said about the black community.
Right.
I'm so concerned. I mean, unemployment among youth, 21 to 35, tripled under this administration. Right. I don't see it getting any better under Hillary Clinton. It just will not happen. You know,
right.
Under her. She has sold this country, ladies and gentlemen, down the river for her own special interests. Now, I heard the other day a staggering figure about the Hillary Foundation, which I understand is under investigation right now by the federal government and by the FBI.
Right.
I won't hold my breath because I was so disappointed in what happened with the emails, but I understand they also are again under investigation by a special department of the Department of Justice. I'm not sure, but
right.
that's what I'm understanding. But this woman must be discredited. You know, you must do your due diligence so you can make an informed decision yourself. And I think when you do that, you realize that we don't have but one choice, and that's Donald Trump. We want someone who's going to lead this country. Now, I know that I hear it every day about what Donald Trump says. I personally don't care what Donald Trump says. Basically, I don't. I care how he can lead. That's that the bottom line is, can he lead this country? Yes. Can he do something about ISIS? Yes. You know, can he turn this thing around? Can he make America great again? Can he make America safe again? And I say a very emphatic yes, he can. It's a bottom line. What's good for America? Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? For me, there is no choice. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think I'm a conspiracy theorist in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that, like he mentioned himself, is this rigged? Are they trying to rig it?
Absolutely it is.
And I think everything, they want her in there. And I think that there's potential or possibilities that they could rig this election.
Absolutely. And
Because-
it's being done.
Absolutely. And because, I don't know, they can't control him. He's an outsider, you know? I mean, he wasn't supposed to get as far as he's
Oh,
gotten.
no one thought he was. No one took him seriously.
And as we talked about it, you know, prior to the last speech that he gave in Ohio, okay, I wasn't sure what was going on. I mean, he was saying things that wasn't really making a lot of sense in most people's minds. And it's, like I said, being a salesperson, they understand, number one, if you put a headline out there, okay, you got to explain it. You can't assume people understand what you're saying. I don't care what you're selling. You got to explain
Absolutely,
it.
I agree with you totally.
And then you got to provide facts, credible facts from
To back that up.
sources. And then you close on that. Give an example. You talk about Hillary Clinton being a liar. Okay, Hillary Clinton's a liar. That's your headline. Okay, now explain why she's a liar. Tell us why she's a liar, what she did. Then give us some facts. Give us some reputable facts about, you know, from the reputable sources that people believe in.
And that's what he's starting to do now. He
And-
sounds more presidential than ever.
And this is, you know, he was saying things that I'm like, what is this? What is going on? And then who was he listening to? I mean, I was thinking maybe the Three Stooges or somebody was giving him advice this speech, the last one, I'm like, wow, you know, and everybody's saying, can he stay? Can he stay on point? You have, nobody likes Hillary Clinton. They don't like, you know, I mean, Bill, Hillary, they don't like them. So all you got to do is just,
There's so much evidence. There is
Yeah.
so many negative things about Hillary Clinton. I mean, it goes on and on. It never stops. I mean, it's Benghazi. It's the emails. It's lying to people out and outright. She lied to the FBI, for crying out loud, and then tried to deny that and they played what Comey said. And there were, like, I think 5 questions that she said she didn't say that or they weren't true. He proved them not to be true, and yet this woman still has a following. So that's why I say, do your due diligence. We're running out of time. It's time to elect a man that can lead us back to prosperity. You know what I like about Donald Trump? A lot of things. But I'll tell you one thing that I like, the way he perseveres. He stood a little bit more than a year ago with 16 other people on a stage. And one by one, they fell by the wayside. And Donald Trump was the only one left standing. You know, that's being persistent. You know, it's persevering. And that's the kind of man. I want a person who never, ever, ever gives up. And that's Donald Trump to me. You know.
absolutely, absolutely. And I liked what he said today. Now he's focusing on the minority communities from this videotape. He's and you know, this whole talk, you know, they try to put out that he's a racist. I never believed that.
There's no proof. There's no proof of that. If you were to go back to New York and walk through, this is just one example, ladies and gentlemen, and walk through Trump Towers. I had a friend that did this, and he told me personally that he has never seen so many minorities in managerial positions.
Right.
Never. You know, and there's a group that I just joined. It's called the Diversified Republicans. Minorities for Republicans, and they have Muslims, they have Hispanics, they have African American, they have Asian Americans. All of this they have. And you would not believe the testimony by some of these people. It's a great website, and which also I advise you to do. Okay, go to the Drudge Report. You know, find out for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. I think after you do your due diligence, it'll be a no-brainer, okay? And especially when you compare him to Hillary Clinton and all the bad things that's coming out. And it's not all done yet. There will be other things that are going to come out. I want you to listen to a video and watch a video about Hillary Clinton. So we're going to take a little break here, and we're going to come back. We're going to set this video up, and this is very important. I want everyone to look at this. I think it's something that the audience needs to see. So we're going to take a little break here, and we'll be back in 2 and 2.
And I'm proud to be an American. Where at
I'm
least
back.
I know
You know, we're going to go to a video quickly, but before we do, I want to talk about this current administration. The reason I want Barack Obama's gone, but the reason I want to talk about it is because Hillary Clinton endorses this present administration. Let's talk about ISIS. Let's talk about the fact that this administration, Barack Obama, actually stood up before the American people and said that there's no problem with ISIS, that we can feel safe. Well, I don't feel safe, and I don't think the American people feel safe. Now, there has been 9,000 airstrikes against the Islamic State known as ISIS. 9,000. And let me tell you this, at the cost of $11 million to the American taxpayers. Now, I'd ask you to do the math, but I'll do it for you. That's $5.5 billion that the American taxpayers are paying for our airstrikes. And nothing is better. Not one thing is better with these airstrikes. So this administration is not living up to what they're telling the people. ISIS is a major threat in this country and abroad. And I think Donald Trump I totally believe. And let me tell you something else that I thought about last night. I'll tell you why I think Donald Trump will do everything he says, because he has a big ego, okay? And he will not fail, okay? He wants to do everything that he says he's going to do to prove to us that he can do it, if for no other reason, other than the fact that he's a great man. Donald Trump doesn't have to do this. He could be on a yacht someplace, okay? But he loves this country. He believes in this country. He's tired of seeing what's going on in this country, because this country is, ladies and gentlemen, headed toward bankruptcy. We're going to go to a video of Hillary Clinton here. And I want you to take a really good look at this. I want you to listen to what this woman say. I want you to become informed and so that you can make a decision come 81 days from today. We're going to go to this video.
You were against same-sex marriage. Now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies. Now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against it. Will you say anything to get elected?
Well, actually, I have been very consistent over the course of my entire life. I have always fought for the same values and principles.
Do you think New York State should recognize gay marriage?
No.
No. Okay.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
I have not supported same-sex marriage. I have supported civil partnerships and contractual relationships.
I support marriage for lesbian and gay couples. I support it personally and as a matter of policy and law.
So you're saying your opinion on gay marriage changed, or you changed your mind?
I have to say, I think you are being very persistent, but you are playing with my words and playing with what is such an important issue.
I'm just trying to clarify so I can understand.
No, I don't think you are trying to clarify. I think you're trying to say that, I used to be opposed and now I'm in favor, and I did it for political reasons, and that's just flat wrong. So let me just state what I feel like you are implying and repudiate it. I have a strong record. I have a great commitment to this issue, and I am proud of what I've done and the progress we're making.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just want to clarify what I was saying. No, I was saying that you maybe really believed this all along, but, believed in gay marriage all along, but felt for political reasons America wasn't ready yet and you couldn't say it. That's what I was thinking.
No, that is not true.
It really is great how long you've supported gay marriage.
Yes. I could have supported it sooner.
Well, you did it pretty soon.
Yeah. Could have been sooner.
Fair point.
Just in July, New Hampshire, you told the crowd you, quote, take a backseat to no one when it comes to progressive values.
I take a backseat to no one when you look at my record and standing up and fighting for progressive values.
Last month in Ohio, you said you plead guilty to, quote, being kind of moderate and center. Do you change your political identity based on who you're talking to?
No, I think that, like most people that I know, I have a range of views, but they are rooted in my values and my experience.
I get accused of being kind of moderate and center. I plead guilty.
Just for the record, are you a progressive or are you a moderate?
I'm a progressive.
Going through the emails, there were over 60,000 in total. sent and received. About half were work-related and went to the State Department, and about half were personal, that were not in any way related to my work.
When you speak to the public, you say, I turned over everything. That's, for the most part, a direct quote. When you talk to the public, you say, I turned over everything.
90 to 95% of my work-related emails were in the state system. If they wanted to see them, they would certainly have been able to do so.
You know what? That is maybe the 10th time you have cited that figure today.
It is.
And I have not heard anyone other than you ever cite that figure. Who told you that 90 to 95% of your emails were in the State Department system? Who told you that?
We learned that from the State Department in their analysis of the emails that were already on the system.
The Inspector General report found that less than 1% of State Department emails, record emails, were captured. So they give a number of less than 1%, and you give a number of 90%.
I have absolute confidence that everything that could be in any way connected to work is now in the possession of the State Department.
This pile represents the emails that you sent or received about Libya in 2011, from February through December of 2011. This pile represents the emails you sent or received from early 2012 until the day of the attack. There are 795 emails in this pile. We've counted them. There are 67 emails in this pile in 2012. And I'm troubled by what I see here. I can only conclude by your own records that there was a lack of interest in Libya in 2012.
The server contains personal communications from my husband and me.
Only time I got on the internet, I did 2 emails, and I ordered Christmas presents from a reservation. Otherwise, I found people said embarrassing things on emails. I didn't want to be one of them.
I mean, and how many angels dance on the head of a pin? I have really nothing to. I mean, how do you answer that?
I represented Wall Street as a senator from New York, and I went to Wall Street in December of 2007, before the big crash that we had, and I basically said, cut it out. Quit foreclosing on homes. Quit engaging in these kinds of speculative behaviors.
Now, who's exactly to blame for the housing crisis? I think there's plenty of blame to go around. Home buyers who paid extra fees to avoid documenting their income should have known they were getting in over their heads.
Of course we have to deal with the problem that the banks are still too big to fail. We can never let the American taxpayer and middle-class families ever have to bail out the kind of speculative behavior that we saw. But we also have to worry about some of the other players. AIG, a big insurance company, Lehman Brothers, an investment bank. There's this whole area called shadow banking. That's where the experts tell me the next potential problem could come from. So I'm with both Senator Sanders and Governor O'Malley in putting a lot of attention onto the banks. And the plan that I have put forward would actually empower regulators to break up big banks. I represented New York, and I represented New York on 9/11. When we were attacked, where were we attacked? We were attacked in downtown Manhattan, where Wall Street is. I did spend a whole lot of time and effort helping them rebuild. That was good for New York, it was good for the economy, and it was a way to rebuke the terrorists who had attacked our country.
9/11 was bad.
I agree with that.
Time and time again, you hear one thing in speeches, and then you see a campaign that has the worst kind of tactics, reminiscent of the same sort of Republican attacks on Democrats. Well, I am here to say that it is not only wrong, but it is undermining core democratic principles. Since when do Democrats attack one another on universal health care?
I've looked at the legislation that Senator Sanders has proposed, and basically
he does eliminate the Affordable Care Act, eliminates private insurance, eliminates Medicare, eliminates Medicaid, TRICARE, Children's Health Insurance Program.
Just because Senator Obama chose not to present a universal health care plan does not give him the right to attack me because I did. So let's have a real campaign. Enough with the speeches and the big rallies and then using tactics that are right out of Karl Rove's playbook. This is wrong, and every Democrat should be outraged.
The Democratic Party in the United States worked since Harry Truman to get the Affordable Care Act passed.
So shame on you, Barack Obama. It is time you ran a campaign consistent with your messages in public.
Hillary Clinton's attempt to tout her foreign policy experience hounded her again on the campaign trail today.
I made a mistake in describing it.
She claimed she misspoke last week and was sleep deprived when she described landing under sniper fire in Tuzla, Bosnia, something that didn't happen. But CBS News has found several times in the past few months when Senator Clinton used the Bosnia trip to try to show her international experience. December in Iowa.
We landed in one of those corkscrew landings and ran out because they said there might be sniper fire. I don't remember anybody offering me tea on the tarmac when that was happening.
Then in February.
The welcoming ceremony had to be moved inside because of sniper fire.
And last week.
I remember landing under sniper fire. We basically were told to run to our cars. Now that is what happened.
Differing accounts of your trip to Bosnia, and I'm wondering if you can clarify. I know you recalled, ducking under sniper fire, and Sinbad in his account, who was on the trip, he said that the most dangerous part was remembering where he was going to eat next.
He's a comedian, Jeff. He's a comedian.
So you actually recall, hearing gunfire, and were you
when we were flying into Bosnia, we came in a evasive maneuver. There was no greeting ceremony, and we basically were told to run to our cars. Now that is what happened.
After CBS News video showed what really happened when she landed and greeted officials, Senator Clinton maintained there were risks, but explained to the Philadelphia Daily News why she was seen on the Bosnian tarmac greeting a young child if it was really so dangerous.
I was also told that the greeting ceremony had been moved away from the tarmac, but that there was this 8-year-old girl, and I said, well, I can't rush by her. I've got to at least greet her. So I greeted her, I took her stuff, and I left. Now that's my memory of it.
Good to see you. Once again, her memory doesn't match our videotape. She and her daughter Chelsea lingered on the tarmac to greet U.S. military officials. Took photos. There was the group of 7th graders on the tarmac, too. And then Senator Clinton walked to the armored vehicle where she did eventually duck and enter.
It was one of the highlights of President Clinton's first term, passage of the North American Free Trade Agreement, also known as NAFTA. Critics blame NAFTA for the loss of manufacturing jobs in industrial states, including Ohio and Pennsylvania. Hillary Clinton helped get NAFTA approved. She held at least 5 meetings to strategize about how to win congressional approval. She helped the White House block opposition from labor and environmental groups, and she was the featured speaker at a crucial meeting. Participants in that event said, quote, her remarks were totally pro-NAFTA. There was no equivocation for her support for NAFTA at the time.
I have been a critic of NAFTA from the very beginning. My concerns about NAFTA expressed years ago have been well documented and verified. I didn't have a public position on it. I have spoken consistently against NAFTA. And if you look at what I have been saying, it has been consistent. I have been consistent. You can go back and look at from the very beginning. I was one of the voices in the administration warning about NAFTA.
You said it was good on balance for New York and America in 2004, and now you're in Ohio, and your words are much different, Senator. The record is very clear.
Well, you don't have all the records because you can go back and look at what I've said consistently.
Oh, I think that everybody is in favor of free and fair trade, and I think that NAFTA is proving its worth.
I think on balance, NAFTA has been good for New York and America.
Was NAFTA a mistake?
NAFTA was a mistake to the extent that it did not deliver on what we had hoped it would.
Your opponents are saying that that's really part of a larger pattern with you, that you often avoid taking firm positions on controversial issues.
back. You know, I'd like to talk about one aspect, maybe two aspects of what you've just been watching. In lieu of that awful thing, that horrific thing that happened in Orlando, Florida, if you recall, the very next day, Hillary Clinton stood up and talked about women's rights and gay rights. And yet, here's a woman who advocated being for gay rights, for women's rights, and yet the Clinton Foundation received over $25 million from Saudi Arabia, and that's just one foreign entity, okay? A country that executes people for being gay, you know. And this is just one thing. I mean, it goes on and on and on, you know. And the fact that she talks about affordable health care, you know, and how you heard her denounce Barack Obama when she was running against him for president a while back, and yet now she supports affordable. It goes back and forth with her. You know, she's this, she's that. You just saw the video yourself, you know. So it never, ever, ever ends. I don't know where her following is coming from. I don't know how people can look at these things. And these are things that are proven. Hillary Clinton sold this country down the river for her own personal agenda. You know, and I heard another fact the other day, and I haven't been able to prove this, but I believe it. And I understand that the Clinton Foundation is now upwards of $2 billion and possibly more. You know, George Soros, and just contributed, if I'm not mistaken, $1 billion to the foundation, or some outrageous $100 million. I don't want to quote it because I really don't know, but I do remember looking at the figure sometime last night. I was kind of blurry-eyed getting ready for my show, so I look at so many things that I want to make sure that I'm accurate before I tell you that, so that you can make an informed decision. But I have Lawrence here, and I think he's got a few things he'd like to say, so we're going to turn it over to him and let him talk.
Well, first of all, I want to reiterate on a point that we before the break, and that was the definition of racism.
Mm-hmm.
Heard somebody, I never thought about it this way, Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if you watch sports or not.
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, Stephen A. Smith, he's on First Take.
Okay.
And he gave a very excellent explanation of what a racist is. Mm-hmm. And he said, a racist is somebody who believes in race superiority.
Absolutely.
That's what a racist is. It's just because people want to say you're a racist because you believe in a certain philosophy, or you want to follow the law. This in our case, or in this case, you want to follow the law. That makes you a racist. No, that doesn't make you a racist. A racist is one that believes in racial superiority.
Absolutely.
And Donald Trump doesn't believe in that.
No, he doesn't.
Now, when the director of the FBI went on TV, okay, and was given his rationale for not wanting to prosecute Hillary, mm-hmm. he felt it necessary to give us a detailed explanation. Because basically, he's trying to sell us on the idea that, gee whiz, she didn't really do anything. This was a mistake, an oversight. How was it a freaking oversight? She broke the freaking law. You got the Attorney General who met with Bill Clinton.
Absolutely.
On
Margaret Lynch.
What's her name was Lynch.
Yeah, Margaret Lynch.
Okay. She obviously is a supporter of Clinton. You know, she wants Clinton to win. She wasn't going to do anything.
No, absolutely. I think she would have resigned before she prosecuted Hillary Clinton. I really do.
No doubt, no doubt. Mm-hmm. So everything is being set up for Hillary. The whole system is being set up for Hillary.
I'm glad you brought that up, Lawrence, because, this is another thing. I mean, it's almost like a slap in the face to the American public that we should believe that her and Bill Clinton, it was a coincidence.
Right.
And when asked, I think someone said, well, we're showing pictures and talking pictures of our children and our grandchildren. I think that's probably true. I think they were probably talking about their great-great-great-grandchildren and all the money they were going to make.
Right.
Absolutely taking advantage of their situation, which they have done on countless.
And for me, I'm an independent, okay? I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat, because fundamentally, I really don't believe I don't believe in the political system that we have.
Okay.
Because it seems like everybody's on the take, and
That's what I like about Donald Trump. He can't be bought. He's already got money.
Absolutely. And what I have noticed is that the left has moved far left.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
the right, for majority of right, is where the left used to be.
Absolutely, that's happening in this country.
Okay,
And
so we don't have a right anymore.
that's the problem with the elites. That's why they don't like Donald Trump, because first of all, he can't be bought. And he says what he wants to say when he wants to say it.
Mm-hmm.
He has an agenda that doesn't fit them. He can't be bought. There's no special interest with Donald Trump.
Exactly.
And they can't stand that.
Exactly. And for people, for the rank and file people in the streets who want fairness, they see a double system where if you are a certain person, you don't get prosecuted. If you are somebody else, you do. She's above the law. People don't like that.
I've said all along, maybe we should change saying liberty and justice for all, especially in Hillary Clinton's case, to liberty and justice for some.
Exactly. Now, if I want and this is what the majority of people, this is what resonate, or Donald Trump's campaign, or him running for office, is resonating with the majority of people. We have looked at our politicians and we see that they're not doing what we want them to do. Mm-hmm. They're doing what they wanted to do and what's profitable to them. Mm-hmm. And so he came on the scene and he said, "Okay, I'm an outsider." And people are saying that's who we freaking need. Mm-hmm. We need an outsider. We don't need somebody that's part of the system. The system has been running and running and running, and nothing has changed.
Let me say this, okay? And very good point, Lawrence. Very good point. Let me say this. We've tried politicians. It really hadn't worked. The last time we tried a non-politician was the 40th president of the United States, and he's the greatest president I've known in my lifetime. And I keep saying the GOP is the party of Lincoln, Reagan, and now Trump. We need some changes in this country. Donald Trump is the needed change that we need, ladies and gentlemen.
And I agree with that. And like I said, you can just see the hunger in Hillary's face. She just feels anointed to be the president.
Absolutely. Good point.
I mean, she feels anointed. I mean, it's like, I remember she went before a large group of Hispanics, and she says, "And I'll double down on what Barack Obama. If you elect me, I'll double down as far as opening the borders." And so I'm like, wait a minute.
It's kind of scary, isn't it?
It's very scary, because all that people want is somebody to follow our constitutional laws and not pick and choose laws.
Absolutely.
And Donald Trump has stated, he boldly said, I don't know about building a wall. I don't know anything about that. But he said, we want to follow constitutional law. We're going to let people in, but they're going to come in legally.
How opposite can you be? He's a law and order type candidate. Hillary Clinton is exactly the opposite. She does what she wants, and she's gotten away with it so long. The email thing totally devastated me, as it did the country.
Absolutely.
I thought for sure that Comey would come through. I had so much confidence in this man. I have no confidence in him at all now. He bought the farm is what he did.
Right.
He sold everything out.
Right.
And I don't know. I understand that he goes way back to Clinton when he was a prosecutor. I just found that out the other day.
Okay.
He has a history with the Clintons.
Wow.
This man.
Is he Republican, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And he goes. Yeah, he is. But his ties go way back with the Clintons. All the way. I don't know what year it was when he was a prosecutor. So, Margaret Lynch bought the farm.
Oh, of course.
She bought the farm and she sold it to Comey. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, there was a handshake agreement. I mean, and I think the majority of people knew that. Most Americans aren't as dumb as people think they are.
No.
Okay. They are looking for the majority of real Americans, true Americans, people that been here for many years. They were looking for a champion.
Let me say this: those of you who don't understand the polls, and I understand that. The media is rigged. It is totally rigged by the liberal leftists, and everyone knows that. The polls do not believe the polls. Believe me, the polls are not accurate. They're not in favor of Donald Trump, and they never will be, because they're controlled by Hillary Clinton and the Democrats and the leftist liberal media.
And you're perfectly correct. I don't even listen to polls.
Good.
I mean, I have no faith in, you know, when they do a poll, you know, and like you said, I mean, there's only, what is there, maybe 3 or 4 people that own all the media
Absolutely.
in the country?
The elite, they call them.
There's maybe 3 or 4 people that control the media, 3 or 4 families or individuals or that anyway own it, and so they can control whatever.
And they
being written.
and they do. Obviously, they do.
Fresno, this used to be a conservative Republican community. The Bee was a conservative paper at
I
one
remember
point.
that.
Now it's a liberal paper.
It's extremely
There's like one
liberal.
person that owns all these papers in California.
McClatchy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And all the editorial opinions favors Hillary or a Democrat, you know. And it's like that, you know, don't listen to the media. You know, make your own, like you were saying, make your own decision.
Do your own due diligence. Great point. Do your own due diligence. You don't have to listen to me. Do your own due diligence. Find out what's going on. You owe it to yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, 81 days until this country steps up to the plate, you know, and hopefully directs this country in the right direction. We're gonna go to a commercial here, and we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, in 2 and 2. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen, with my wonderful guest. And I just want to say, please, ladies and gentlemen, I keep saying this. I know it's repetitive. 81 days until we step up to the plate and head this country in the right direction with Donald Trump. Do your due diligence this week. I want to thank Mr. Alberti, and I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to come back again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But only for 10,000.
I like this guy. Anyway, every week I like to close my show. I call it a little something to think about, and it's going to remain the same. When you see a law enforcement officer, be he sitting in his car, I saw one yesterday at the chicken pie shop, and I went up and shook his hand, you know. And I want to continue to do that. I want everyone to do that. Let's make these people feel that we appreciate what they do, because they have a thankless job for a very little amount of money. And so I'll close by saying, until I joyously see you next Thursday, happy and heaven's blessings to you.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say